The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the field.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad to see you guys here today. I'm excited about my guest, Miss Alia Jamal. Hi, Alia. How are you doing today?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited that you are here. And let's just tell the audience a little bit about Alia. Alia Jamal is the love coach and pranic healer who is dedicated to help women connect with unconditional love within themselves. She combines her 10-year experience in cytogenetics, study of human behavior, and human energy body to help her clients. She helps them eliminate fears and anxiety and guilt and judgments and create a life of love and power. Besides helping her clients living as their true authentic self, she loves trees. So do I. I love trees, meditation, and reading. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And you know
Thank
what?
you.
I'm going to give you a few minutes to just kind of share with the audience your journey and how is it that you now do what you do to help eliminate the fears, the anxieties, and all those kinds of things. So take it away, Leah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's watching right now. As you know, my name is Alia Jamal, the love coach. And every time I say the love coach, people think like, maybe I'm going to help them with dating. But I help women find their one true love within themselves. And I got to this path going on my own life journey. I was a cytogenetic technologist, happily doing my work. And in 2015, my life just went upside down. And what happened? I share everything openly, and I'm sure Vera is okay with that too.
Yes.
So what actually happened, I was happily married, and my that time husband just came to me and he said he's having a relationship with someone else and he's not planning to leave that person or me. So for me it was like, my beautiful fairy tale life just came to an end. It's like, the chandelier I was holding just shattered, and I just didn't even know beyond that moment how to live because he was my everything. It was like, we were together since we were 17. So I just went numb. I went into a very deep depression. I couldn't even cry. He was with me throughout the whole time. My son was 15-month old. I was literally like a zombie. And one day I was just holding on to some pills, hypertensive painkiller pills, and I just thought, I need to put them away. Maybe I'll need them. And that thought, and in that moment, there was that awareness, oh my God, I am that deep into this. I kid you not, right away I picked up my phone, I Googled therapist closest to me. I called them right there and then I got an appointment, and the next day I was in therapist office and I told them I am getting suicidal. I need help. After going for therapy for about 2 months, I realized this is something I need to work on. Yes, the therapist can take me only so far. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go work on my own. I have to heal this on my own. And one day I cried for 7 hours straight, nonstop. I remember that day very clearly. And at the end of the 7 hours, I promised myself I'll figure out how to put a human back together when they break down in so many millions of pieces. And if I ever do, I will make it my life mission to help others heal as well. That's where it all started. And that was January 1st, 2016. So slowly I started putting my life back together. I got into, you know, self-help books. I didn't even know that they are a thing. I got into them slowly. I started my first coaching certificate, second, third, fourth. I found pranic healing because even after doing coaching, I saw my life started changing. I started helping other people change their life. But still, it was like there's something missing. So that's when I found energy healing and I discovered the power of heart, how when we heal our heart, it heals everything within us. So fast forward, right now, I have left my job at the end of 2020 because I realized my purpose is to help others fall in love with themselves. Because when I wanted to fall in love with myself, I didn't even know how. And when I one day I googled how to look beautiful, I was that deep. Um, but Google didn't really help either. So I wanted to come up with this step by step process when a person is in million pieces, how to get from there to be whole, complete, unconditionally in love with themselves. So that's what I did. I had my business since 2017, but in 2021 it became full time, and I literally took a leap of faith. It was like leaving this job, just going in. God is gonna take care of me. That's what it was like, the biggest leap of faith, bigger than getting a divorce. So I just went with it, and it has been such a beautiful journey. The woman I have the honor to serve, I can, it's such a big honor that I am on this path and I'm helping. When someone calls me or they get on a call with me and they are crying, they're like, I don't even see any light, Alia. And I'm like, I see it for you. I'm going to attach you to that light. And we do it. And it's just so beautiful doing that work.
So my question, you said, and I have a poem that is perfect for this conversation. It's called After a Divorce or a Relationship, and you went through that process. I'm going to share it, but before I do, you mentioned how the energy. So you do energy work. Can
Yes.
you kind of explain what that is?
Sure. So, pranic healing is, I would say, it's part of the energy medicine umbrella. Reiki comes in it, and so many other modalities come. My exposure has been to pranic healing, and it's very meticulous. Like, I have a book, I have many books, and I have done all the levels. They have 8 levels. I have done all of them. So, I can literally, like, if someone has energy of, let's say, anxiety, I can clear that and replace it with joy. And within few seconds, they will be just smiling. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm feeling so good."
How do you do that? And
So
it's called pranic,
yeah,
Pranick. And so
yeah,
I was confused. No, is she talking panic or is she talking pranic?
yeah. It comes from prana, which is life force. And because I'm an
Okay.
advanced healer, I use crystals, because when I use a crystal, it works so much faster. So I use like a crystal wand, but I also use, because I do this one thing. I use these kind of crystals. These are specifically made just for pranic healing. You can only get it from that store after showing your certificate. So these I would put on different chakras, and it's done distantly. And literally, like, within 30 minutes, the person would be like, I am a new person. Because what end up happening when, let's say, when I am thinking negative thoughts, those thoughts are energy. They go and they get stuck on our energy body. So what end up happening, there's not a natural flow of energy. For example, if you look at a kid, they are full of energy because they didn't get into the negative thinking yet. They are
Yeah,
not there yet. So for us adults, the flow is not good. We feel tired, we feel down. So when a pranic healer, or I'm sure other energy modalities, they work that way too, when they clear that and your own natural energy is flowing, you literally go from, oh my God, life is coming to an end, to I can rebuild everything. So that sudden change is just so beautiful.
that is awesome. Now, you just mentioned you can do it remotely.
Yeah, it's always done remotely. And I prefer to do it when my clients are sleeping, because then their mind is not interfering with what I am sending to them. So sometimes I even wake up at 2:30 a.m. just to do a healing on somebody. And in pranic healing, that is like, my side joy. For my coaching client, they get both pranic healing and coaching together, because when they come to me, they are feeling so heavy, but as they clear, they can move so much faster. But by the time we are done, they are trained to think the way they want to think, so their energy naturally stays clear. But other clients, sometimes I get people who, they have some kind of disease that a medicine has not been able to help them, because the emotional root is there and the pill cannot help them. So those clients, I work with children, a lot of children with anxiety or, like, tantrum. I have worked with as young as 4-year old. For my whole family, like, all the like, not my grandkids, but all the nieces and nephew. I worked on my nephew who was born preemie. So I did healing on him, so he came home much faster than he would have. And then, in that capacity, I can work with pretty much anybody, and it's so fast.
That is amazing. And you said that they can sustain. Oh, you mentioned, oh, this is important because you said with sickness and the medicines aren't helping. That's because there's some underlining other things
Yeah.
within a person that's causing that sickness, and people don't understand how
Yeah.
important it is to understand the emotions, the anger, the negative emotions that we feel can generate sickness, and
Yes,
people
they
don't
can.
understand that.
And
And and I think about all the hate that's going on right now, and I would imagine, I would bet money that all these people with all this negative garbage that they're throwing out into the atmosphere, they've got some physical,
of course.
probably mental, but they've got some physical problems as a result of those attitudes and those behaviors. And so, can you kind of speak on the kind of attitudes and behaviors? I know we talked about anxiety and those kinds of things, but if you can kind of pinpoint to our audience the association of sickness with mentality and attitudes.
Sure. So one of the very common one that I see with women, when they have self-loathing going on, it literally is like, self-attack. When a woman say, I am so stupid, why couldn't I do this, she's criticizing herself. She doesn't realize she's literally taking arrows and throwing at her energy body, and it's literally getting poked holes in it. Those women, they have, like, GI tract issues. There might be a ulcer, there might be IBS. I have worked with many clients with that. They're like, oh no, I'm just so sensitive, I have this IBS issue. And medicine, like, people who have that, their life is so challenging. It is a very challenging thing. But I talk to them for 5 minutes and I know exactly where it's coming from. But the way they talk about themselves, it's like, I'm not good enough. If we heal, I am not good enough, because it always comes from, like, our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It was always taught to us. No child come in this world, like, just came out of the birth canal and say, like, hey doctor, by the way, I'm not good enough.
Right.
No, none of us did that, right?
Right.
Somebody taught us that. We
Yes.
kept it with ourselves, and now we are adults and we have that mindset, and we have all kind of diseases going on, and then we go get pills. They have side effect. Then we have more pills, but the root is within us. We are the
Yes.
solution.
Yes. Say that
It's
again. We are
we
the solution.
we are the solution. The solution is not, yes, you can go to medical office, you can get that help, so you can, get a little bit better. But once you get a little bit better, just ask yourself, okay, where it's starting from,
Yes.
and then people who have a lot of grudges. For example, what I went through, it was so easy for me to hold a grudge for rest of my life. But because I went through pranic healing route, it was like forgiveness. I have to
Yes.
forgive myself. What we
Yes.
don't realize, sometimes we hold grudges and resentment against ourselves.
Yes. And
Once we
blame
release,
ourselves.
exactly, once we release that, that means there's less chances of you getting blood pressure or any kind of heart disease. And people who have hard time even connecting with other, that is another big thing I do with women. We literally put a heart wall, energetical wall around our heart when we get, like, some kind of abuse we go through in our childhood, which is so many women. Then we have hard time connecting. And if we are not feeling that connection coming from another human, our nervous system feel very anxious. It doesn't feel safe. So then we have that sense of, I am not safe. That leads to fear, that leads to anxiety, and that leads to, like, getting on another pill. So this, again, going back to the solution is within us. We are the solution to every problem we have. And if we just become a little bit more open, maybe somebody's listening today and this is the first time they're hearing about energy healing. But if they become a little bit open to that, they're like, oh, okay, there could be another solution out there.
Yes. Let me comment. We've got a listener that has some feedback. Hello, Shakel. I'm having a problem saying your first name, but she's a psychologist, and I am so glad to see you on here, Shakelta. Um, Great conversation, Vera. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you
It's
so
my
much.
it's my guess. She's got some great stuff, and people don't understand how all these things, medications. I'm telling you, taking medications, it just brings on even more issues. So if we can get in tune with
Yes,
ourselves, then maybe all these pharmaceuticals and these medicines that we're taking will understand we don't need all that stuff.
exactly. I mean, I have seen people who were on 30 pills going down to 4 pills, going down to 0 pills, because
Yes.
they said, like, I can heal myself. And I'm
Yes.
gonna go and I'm going to find all the different ways that I can, because see, that requires courage, that requires having an open mind, that might require some time paying out of pocket instead of using your insurance. So, but if we are open to it, there's so many solution available with women. Another thing that I really see a lot, and every time I talk about it, at least somebody gets pissed off about it, and that is breast cancer. The root of breast cancer is resentment, and the resentment is towards
Mm,
yourself. Anytime you see a
mm.
woman who has breast cancer, she was a giver. She
Yes. Yes.
gave.
And
So,
it's interesting that you should say that because my mother died at the age of 44 of breast cancer.
sorry to
One
hear
of
that.
my sisters died of breast cancer, and one of my nieces died of breast cancer.
Oh my
None of
God.
them saw the age of 60. My niece was 38. Both my sisters were in their 50s, and my mom was 44. And all of them were givers. All of them.
Exactly.
I mean, so when you're saying that, I can see
Yeah.
they gave, they gave, they gave, they gave, they gave. And so, yes, so I just wanted
So,
to say that.
because from a very young age, as women, we are taught it's your responsibility to lead the family, to do this. No one in there teaches us hey, by the way, if you don't nurture yourself, you're gonna die before anyone else. It's like, we missed the fine print and no one told us that. So my wish is women start understanding how important they are. We are literally
Yes.
the root of the family.
Yes.
If we don't take care of ourselves, and it's not selfish to take care of ourselves, it's selfish to not take care of ourselves. Because
Absolutely.
if a mother dies, like, what's going to happen to those kids?
Yes.
They want their mommy to be there. So
Yes.
taking out time, nurturing ourselves so we don't have that resentment against ourselves, and not just keep giving out of an empty cup, filling ourselves. I think that would be way better campaign to reduce breast cancer than any kind of other awareness we have going on.
You know, and I tend to agree with you. I want to share this poem because it really talks about everything you're talking about. And so let me share this right quick with the audience.
Sure.
After a divorce or end of a relationship, make sure for the future you are fully equipped by taking time for self. Put the thought of jumping into something serious on the back shelf. Get to know who you are all over again. Learn to be your best friend. What is it that's important to see? What are my values, must haves, and beliefs? What part did I play in the demise? What lessons must I learn to make me wise? How did I handle my partner's behavior and mine? Was it hurtful or kind? I must accept my contributions. I must accept the reality and not my illusion and recognize the mistakes of the past to move forward, not too slow, not too fast. Who am I? What do I want in life? More peace, prosperity, less strife. Faith in the relationship with my higher power begins the new journey this present hour. Peace will come when my faith is realized. Prosperity in my pocket, my soul, and my mind. And so that capsulizes what you're saying in terms of getting back to yourself. You can't you can't love other people if you don't love yourself.
That
And
is so true. And that is such a beautiful poem. That thank you so much for sharing that.
you're welcome. As you were talking, I was thinking, I need to share this because it's right in line with what you're saying. And Dr. Owen says, yes, 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 thank you. And so understanding how important getting in tune and in touch with yourself and that energy work to help eliminate and one of the things that you really talk about is unconditional love. So if you could kind of expound upon that a little bit. Unconditional love.
Sure. So when I ask a woman, do you love yourself? Like every woman would say, oh, yeah, of course I love myself. Sometimes I say, oh, that's what I do. They'll be like, oh, I already love myself. The truth is, we all love ourselves to some extent. We all do. But there's a condition involved. If I will be this, then I will love myself. If I am thin, then I will treat myself that way. But how about we get to the 100% acceptance and unconditional self love, where even if you make a mistake, you can love yourself. Even if your relationship doesn't work out, you can love yourself. The analogy that I use, what if you are completely homeless living under a bridge, can you still love yourself? Or you're gonna say, oh, I'm such a total loser, and you're gonna reject yourself. That is what unconditional self-love is. And to me, it's falling in love with the soul that is living in your body. To me, it's not just like, the human physical love. It's connecting with the energy of love that's universal. And it's everywhere. You can harness that energy, you can send that energy to anyone. It's not the emotion of love, it's really the energy of love, and it lives in your heart, and you can connect with it only by healing your heart and taking down the walls. And oh my God, the life, I have seen it for myself, I have seen it for my clients. Literally, if you remember the honeymoon phase of your relationship, maybe the very first relationship, it feels like that every single day.
Isn't that amazing? Can
every
you
single day.
imagine? Can you imagine feeling that joy and that love every day? No, and the thing is, that's what we all have to do anyway.
Yeah,
We're in a situation right now where love is the key. Love
exactly.
is the key, but it doesn't start out here. It
Yeah,
starts
it
in
in
here.
here. And unfortunately, we are taught like you're gonna go out and you're gonna find love. Like someone is gonna love you, and a lot of women, they come to me. They're like, "Hey, Ali, I need to get a divorce," and I'm like, "Wait a minute. Let's work on it for a couple of months, and then we can revisit it." And pretty much everyone at the end is like, "I am so in love with my husband. We both love each other. Our life got better." What happened? She fell in love with herself, and she feels so satisfied that no one else has to come and complete her. We don't realize this fact because no one has told us. No one has the ability to love us unconditionally, because no one lives inside of our head. No one lives inside of us. They don't know how it feels to be me. So how can they unconditionally love me? They can share the passion and the compassion and the love and the emotion, but it's my job to love myself unconditionally and accept all that I am.
And in so doing, once we start loving ourselves unconditionally, then we can begin to love others unconditionally. But you can't give
Yeah.
that to others if you don't have it in yourself.
That is so true. A lot of people, I see them like, when I am just analyzing their behavior when we start, they'll be very judgmental towards others. Uh, and I help them understand there is judgment within you. If you don't have it within you, you can't even give it to someone else. So if I don't have unconditional self-love within me, I can claim all I want. I love you unconditionally, but that's not true. I'm just living in an illusion. And that's most of us. We're like, so many time I hear, I love this person unconditionally, but then you see they're treating themselves really bad. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're just in an illusion because you think it's the noble thing to do. Because there's so much shame around not loving yourself. We reject the idea that maybe I need to love myself a little bit more.
Well, when even, and I know we are of different faiths, but we still have that spiritual connection. And there's a scripture that says, "Love thy neighbor as thyself." You can't love other people if you don't love yourself. And
Yeah,
so you doing this love work, that's what I want to call it, because you are a love coach. So you doing this love work to help people recognize. And so, can you kind of share a couple of tips that a person might be able to start practicing to begin to understand and feel that self love that is so important in order for us to spread love elsewhere?
sure. The easiest way is start sitting with yourself without any distraction. So just put a 5-minute timer and just sit down. Don't listen to any music. Don't be on your phone. Be alone and just feel yourself. Don't even try to control your thoughts or try to, like, uh, get rid of them. Just try to have a sense of, oh, this is who I am. What's going to happen? There is a voice that's always talking to us. That's a voice of our higher self. You can say a voice of your soul. You're going to start hearing that voice. That is a very kind and loving voice. That is actually your own voice. That is who we are here. The negative voice that we hear, it's somebody else's. It's either our parents or whoever raised us. It's not our voice. The more you pay attention to that voice, 5 minutes every day, pretty soon you would feel like I am expanding, and I am getting very strong. That is one thing you can do. And another thing you can do to just open up your heart more, because if our heart energy opens up more, we can process all the emotions so much better. Even if you're getting angry, you're getting sad, you're getting depressed. So it's very easy. Our palm has a energy center in here, electromagnetic field, very easy. Our middle of our chest have the energy center of our heart called heart chakra, another electromagnetic field. Bring them two together, makes a bigger electromagnetic field, very scientific. When you do that and you take a breath from here, even though it's from the mouth, you're bringing your awareness here. Your heart opens up and you start to feel a sense of peace, because what happened when the heart opens, it sends a signal to our higher brain. Literally, it goes through our lower brain and the lower brain gets shut off
You
and
know
your
what?
higher brain opens up.
And you know what? I am feeling like we need to practice that right now. I want you to show us
Perfect.
how to do that right now.
Okay. Okay. So just everybody put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Inhale from this place. Exhale. You just need to do three. Inhale, exhale. You can inhale love, exhale whatever emotion you want to release, fear, anxiety, worry. So, what's happening right now? Your physical heart is sending a signal to your higher brain, and in that process, your lower brain is getting shut off. So, all the lower emotions, they're going to start to dissipate. And when your higher brain gets activated, all you see is possibility in front of you. You don't even see anything else. That is the power we have as a human. Like how easy that is. Do it like,
Yeah.
three breaths
Yeah.
only.
Wow. And you can do that throughout the day.
Yeah,
And by doing that, that's going to help eliminate some of that anxiety and open you up to more love. That's
yeah. What it's going
awesome.
to do, it's going to open up our heart energy. And if it opens up our heart energy, what's going to happen with that, that we won't be able to feel that anxiousness, that sadness. Our heart is open. It's pretty much like, if you have a tiny hose versus you have like that fire department grade big hose. We are
Yeah.
opening the hose. Everything just moves so much faster.
Wow. And little things. See, people don't, just little things like that can help.
One Oh, I was going to say one thing I have realized: healing is not hard, it's very easy. We make it complicated. Eliminating fear, anxiety, judgment, guilt is very easy. When I work with my clients who have like severe anxiety, 10 days with me, that's all it takes. And I
Yeah.
teach them how, on their own, themselves, doing all these kind of things, they're in
Wow.
control of their anxiety. They could have gone an anxiety pill and stayed on it for such a long time, but we have the power within us. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of being open to it.
Yes. Oh, this is so awesome. Yes. And, now there may be people listening and saying, come on, come on. I've suffered from anxiety all my life. I've had depression all my life. And you're telling me that in 10 days, you can help me no longer be on medication. Now, we may have some people out here saying that. So, what would you say to them?
I would say give yourself a chance. You might surprise yourself, because when if I will go towards a pill, I'm not against pill. Like if you need it, go ahead and take it. When I take Tylenol, right? I put the power in Tylenol because at that time I just need it. But what about after I take the pill and the next day I wake up, I'm like, why did I get the headache? Where did it start? And I go back to maybe I didn't drink enough, eat enough, sleep enough. Maybe I got into a fight and it was all the crazy energy. So the same way, depression started somewhere. My depression, I have seen the darkness of depression. When someone say like I'm on the dark end, I have been there myself. There was no light in my life. I didn't even know how would I live. That's how
Mm.
dark it was. If I can come out of there, anyone can come out of there.
Now, I know you said you did self help, you read books and all that other stuff. So, what did you do to yourself physically to
It
get to?
was it was really realizing and understanding how I have created the mess that I was experiencing by the way I was thinking. We don't realize we are powerful transformation machines. We don't realize how powerful we are. We are literally like so powerful, and we are just thinking mindlessly all the negative things, putting in stuff into our head that's not healthy. And we have a mechanism, literally our subconscious mind is a computer program. You put in the chip, it will create exactly what is there. We don't
Yes.
realize you can actually change that chip. You
Yeah.
can
Garbage
reprogram it.
in. Yeah. Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. once
So
we once we really take the time to understand how powerful we are unlimited. We can create anything we want. But again, it's like the power has to come back within me from the pill, and that requires courage. It requires taking responsibility for myself. It requires deep honesty. And I just got to a point where I was like, I need honesty. It's my created mess. It's so easy for me to forgive my ex, forgive myself, forgive anyone else who was involved. We are very good friends. We have one of the happiest divorce. We travel together. Our son is still making new memories with, two homes. There's no broken family concept here. I
that
was
is,
able to create all that because I healed myself,
and
and that has helped him heal too, and the child
yes.
too.
And that what you're saying is so important because so often children of divorced parents end up with the anxiety and the depression and all that stuff because of the interactions that their parents are having with themselves, with each other. And so
Yeah,
being able for a child to be able to see um, amenable relationship where you're still showing respect and even love
yeah,
towards each other, even just because relationships didn't work, doesn't make either of you bad people. It just,
exactly.
and so people need to understand that.
Yeah,
And another example, my brother and his ex-wife have that kind of connection with their raising, having raised their kids, and so that love is just there
yeah,
whether you're there as a parent, as a family or not. And more parents need to get to that, and the
yeah,
way to get to that is first, females, get to yourself.
yeah.
Get to yourself,
Heal yourself.
understand, heal yourself.
Yeah. Healing our heart is it's non-negotiable. It changes everything. And it's not like because I did it, my life changed. I have seen my clients' life change so fast. I have seen families coming back together, being more harmonious. And that's the best gift we can give to our
Yes,
children. And
yes,
one thing as a parent we don't realize when our child are in younger years, like let's say not in a teenage yet, they literally live in our energy field. So if I
yes,
am feeling anxious, but I'm putting a smile on my face and I'm acting like mommy's happy, but then I go in the bedroom and I cry, and then I come
yes,
out, the child is absorbing my energy. They are going
yes.
to feel all that, but then I'll take my child to psychiatrist, I'll put them on the pills, but I won't fix myself. But it's me that I need to really heal, and the
Yes,
child would heal themselves.
yes. And I share a story when my son, after my divorce or after my ex husband and I split, I went through a bunch of changes, the bitterness, all that kind of stuff. And at 2 years old, I just knew my son had a problem. I knew something was wrong with this kid. And so I took him to counseling. And as we're sitting there, and I've shared this before, as we're sitting there, the counselor is saying, okay, and what's going on with you? What's going on with you? And as I was telling her, she was like, it's not your kid. It's you. He's just picking up on your stress, on your anxiety, on
Yeah,
all the emotions and energies that you are transmitting That's what he's picking up on. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times the misbehaviors that parents see in their children, they need to check themselves.
Yeah, that is so true. And it's easy. It's not hard. Sometimes we are like, "Oh my god, now I have to do the inner work." No, it's so much easier. Staying miserable is way harder than being healed and being empowered in your own emotions. So much
But
easier.
that takes work. It's easier. It's easier to just succumb to those
Yeah.
negative forces. It's easier to do that. But when you recognize, I don't have to be like this, but it takes work and it's a daily job. It's a daily job. It's not just something you do for a week and then you're healed.
Yeah.
It's a
It's not a
daily
magic
job.
pill.
It's not a magic pill. It's something you have to do on a regular, daily, consistent base.
Yeah. That is so true.
Now, what we have strolling here, if you want to schedule a time to console with a, Aaliyah, then her link is there. So by all means, schedule a time to talk with her. Your first consultation is just a consultation, right? And
Yeah.
so there's no charge for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you want to now, also, Aaliyah is a part of a conference that's coming up on May 12th through the 14th. And it's called Action Speaks Volume. And we're talking about action today. Things you can do today to feel that love for yourself. Things you can do to calm yourself. Things you can do to be a happier person. She has a way to bring joy. So contact her, contact her. And so you talked a little bit about okay, you shared your experience with your marriage and how that just really caused a nosedive for you and how you were able to rise up out of the ashes to become this beautiful loving person that you are today. And so the power of love, I want you to kind of speak to that from not just a personal perspective or from female perspective, but what the power of love can do for what's going on right now.
Yeah. So what power of love is, it's when we go from love as an emotion to love as an energy, because we all know love as an emotion, and especially in intimate relationship, but when we start looking at love as energy, it's in the universe and our heart is the center of it. It's energy that heals anything it touches. So I can sit here right now, and let's say if my son is in school, which he's not right now, but let's say he is, and I know he's having a hard time today, I'm just going to send him love. I'm just going to make intention I am sending him love. He's going to start feeling better.
Okay, so this is so good. Okay, so how? Give us the tools. How can we send love throughout
So
the? All right,
yeah, so it's like either you just put your hands like this and imagine there's pink light coming from here and going to that person's heart, or you can just imagine, let's say if you're sitting in office, you can do all that. Just close your eyes and imagine there's pink light going from your heart to that person's heart. My friends who are energy sensitive, literally when I send them love, I'll get a text message, did you send me love? Because they can feel the
wow.
opening of their heart and they can feel it's coming from me. If we are sensitive to that, I have used that to help people heal their relationship with their spouse. We don't have to say anything to the spouse, just keep sending them love from your heart to their heart.
Wow.
Their heart centers start to open up and they start to become mellow and more lovey-dovey and whatnot. So it's like you never have to use your words. One of the meditation I do, I send love to the whole earth and every single person on it. You might think like, I'm one person, how can I send love to like 8 billion or so people? You can. We are so powerful. We can, each and every one of us can become channel of love, and we can heal each other without ever knowing
Wow.
each other. And we can raise the consciousness of this planet. Like one person
At a
who's aware
time.
of this power is like, a catalyst for healing this world. We don't
Yeah.
need the governments to change, or like, powerful campaigns and whatnot. Yes, we can do that, but if we all start doing it every single day, anyone who's watching, from tomorrow, from tonight, before you go to sleep, just send love to the whole earth, to every single person, and then go to sleep. Your heart is going to open. You become the channel of that energy of love. Your life starts changing. Ever since I started doing it, my life is just getting better and better and better and better, because I choose to be channel of love. Nothing wrong
Wow.
can happen in that. Another thing
Wow.
is the way I have used love, energy of love, to heal other people, or even like, heal the relationships. So one time, my, like, the eventually when we did get divorced, the girlfriend that, my ex, he moved in with, they live in the same neighborhood, so sometime we'll run into each other in the store. So one time I did meet with his girlfriend, and I could feel she's a wonderful woman who's in love. And so I could feel the heaviness on her of guilt, and maybe I was the one who caused the breakage and whatnot. I could feel that. So at the end of the conversation, I hugged her and I said, it's not your fault. I never want you to think that it's your fault. In that moment, it was the energy of love that I used to connect with her, and taking down that burden from her and freeing her. So many of us, we go through that situation. What if you just give that woman a hug and say, it's not your fault.
Now you you know people are watching this and saying, "Yeah, right."
See,
This
because
person,
our hearts are so closed. We go towards blaming, but what if we open up our heart, and we can share, even the person we hate the most, we can share that energy of love with them. Imagine what would that do. I mean, I would
man,
admit, on my way to home that day, I cried like a baby. I was like, oh my god, this pain is so much. And then I was saying, I promise, because of this pain, I'm gonna figure out even a better way to help women, so no other woman can feel this way. I was saying
wow.
all that. The pain was there. The pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. And the
Say that
suffering,
again. Say
so
that
the
again.
pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. I just choose
Yes.
not to suffer. I freed myself, I freed her, I freed everyone involved by using the energy of love. And it's available
Wow.
to all of us. We don't have to
Yes.
be bitter for years to
Right.
come.
Right. Right.
It only gives you blood pressure. That's what it does.
And stomach problems and
Exactly.
headaches and
And then autoimmune diseases and whatnot.
yes.
We have so many going
Yes.
on, but it's all we are creating within ourselves. I mean, maybe somebody who's watching, they're like, how, Alia, how I do it? Reach out to me. I'll explain it to you. Because that is the work I have done. That is my life mission, is helping others heal their heart, fall in love with themselves. So, that's how I'm helping the planet, one person at a time, by helping them fall in love with themselves and becoming the channel of love.
Wow, that is so awesome.
Thank
That I
you.
mean, and it is so needed.
It
It is
is.
so, I mean, just think, audience, if we all just started seeing that pink light, did you
Yeah.
say the pink light of love and just spreading it all over, starting with yourself, and
Yeah.
then those that you know, those that you love, and then the world. Just think, where there is light, there can be no darkness, and
That is
love
so true.
is light.
Yeah.
Love is light. Oh my God.
Energy of love is so powerful. Powerful. It heals anything it touches. So much so that my clients, I teach them, if their leg is hurting, they're going to put their hand on the leg and they're going to say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I'm sending you love. And they send me text messages all the time. Hey, Ali, I did that and the pain went away.
Well, I
I
need
was
to do
thinking,
that. Because my knees, I'm telling you, my knees.
send them
So I
love,
need.
send them love.
I'm gonna start doing that. Sending
Yeah.
love to my knees, because
Even
I'm
if you,
telling you.
even if you tell them every day, I love you and you're so wonderful. Because here's what we don't understand. Our body's 70% water. We
Yeah.
all know of the experiments we have done with water and saying I love you and saying I hate you. We all know that. Do the same in your body, and your body's just gonna keep getting healthier and better, and it's gonna start healing.
Talk about, okay, there may be some people that don't know about the
The
water.
experiments with water.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
so
Talk
there
about
has been
that.
experiments about, some scientists that did experiments on water. They will say I love you to the water, and then they will see that when the crystals are forming, they are just beautiful and perfect. When they say bad things to the water, the crystals, when they freeze it, it's just weird and out of order. You can just google this water experiments, and YouTube is filled with those videos. So same thing is in your body. Your body is 70% water. When you say I love you to that water, even to the water that you're drinking, to the food that you're eating, you just say I love you and then eat it, it's going to rejuvenate your body. You're going to feel younger. I teach my clients so many tricks about energy and all that, and I practice that myself. So between March 20 till now, my body has released about 15 pounds without me really doing a lot. Nothing changed. I didn't go on a crazy diet. I am energizing my water, energizing my food, telling my body to release that. I am doing the deep emotional work, like really, really deep emotional work. I'm releasing, and I stay in communication with my body. I kept asking my body after divorce, hey, should we release this weight? And it was like, not yet, not yet. Because when we hold on to the extra fat, because we are holding on to extra emotions, we are working through still. So now it's been 1.5 years. My body said literally, it was like, now release. As soon as it said now release, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do release? I usually walk, I'll do that. I'm gonna start being so mindful, energizing the food, energizing the water, and my body is just effortlessly releasing it. It's so easy. Life is not hard at all, but we just don't want to believe it's this easy.
Well, most people will say it is not that easy. You make it sound so easy.
Come in my world. My world, it's so easy.
And
I'll
that is so
I'll share that
awesome.
with you.
And the thing is, you talk about water, and see, one of the problems that's associated with our health, we're not drinking enough water, and
Yeah,
we're 70% water.
yeah. I never understand that because I drink almost 2 gallons of water every day. I was fasting, so fast was starting about like 4:30 a.m. to like 7:30 p.m. So I can drink water only after 7:30 till like through the night. In that time, I was managing to drink a gallon, and I'm like, how come people have hard time drinking water? But here's something to think: if that 70% water is not getting replaced every single day, it's literally like stagnant water. Maybe it's an easy image, vision to have. Like, imagine your pool is there full of water and you're not changing it. So it's gonna get pretty dirty. That's what's happening
Yeah.
inside
And
of our
yeah,
body
because
too.
the water flushes out the toxins and
Yeah,
all the other things that are in our bodies.
exactly.
Wow.
And
This
it
is
energizes us too. I don't take any caffeine. I just
oh,
drink a lot of water and I meditate. Those are the only two things I do.
okay. Well, I drink plenty of coffee, let me say. I do, but I do drink water too. But anyway, oh my God. Let's talk about again the conference. Now, what are you gonna be talking about at the
So
conference?
I'm talking about success is your responsibility. So we have heard it a lot. in the media, or like if you are into self-help, you're born successful. And then you're like, okay, I'm not successful. And you're saying I'm born successful. So I talk about how you are born successful and how it's your responsibility. So I give like a step-by-step process to
Okay.
get there. I have a
Okay.
scientist mind, so I go into step-by-step
And
process.
that's great. That's great. Yeah, your degree is in science,
Yeah.
bioscience. So yeah, she's a scientist in so many ways. You're definitely coming with a lot of scientific information that can change lives.
Yeah.
Can change lives. Aaliyah, this is just wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. And
Thank you.
again, she is going to be one of the speakers. Now, next week, we will have Dr. Shirley and some other speakers here to kind of talk about her conference. So, Aaliyah, I'm so glad you're here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a few minutes because we got about 4 minutes. So, I'm going to give you a few minutes to just kind of impart, encourage, and just emphasize this love, the power of love, and the work that you do. And I've got another comment, so let's see what that comment is. Thank you. This has been great. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for listening. I'm going to have you on soon again. Yes. Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Thank you so much
you.
for that. So, one thing I want to say, like, before we part ways, you're the only person you're going to live with for the rest of your life. You were born alone, you would die alone. Anything that we have can leave us at any point. The safety, the illusion of safety that we live in, it can only exist within us. It cannot exist in another human, in another situation. So now, being said that, if you're the most important, like, you're the only person you're gonna live with for the rest of your life, then you're the most important person in your life. If you're not living like you're the most important person in your life because you have a programming that that's the selfish thing to do, you are just making that relationship bad, making that relationship stagnant. We all know about relationship. If you don't nurture it every single day, it tears down over time. When your relationship with yourself tears down and it's unhealthy, that's when you have anxiety, that's when you have depression. That's when you have fear. That's when you have guilt. That's when you have so much judgment coming up. So, if you experience any of those, that means your relationship with yourself is not good. It's very easy to see it in another couple. If a couple is bickering, they're just, fighting all the time. You visit them and, they just can't, they're just like, getting to each other's throat. You would be like, oh my God, what a horrible relationship that have. Same thing is happening within you. Same thing. You need to make up time for yourself. You need to show up for yourself. You need to say yes to yourself because only you can do it. No one else can do it for you. Literally, no one else can do it for you. Even if the love of your life cannot do this for you, only you can do it. So make sure that if you're listening to this, take this as a reminder. Take vows with yourself again. Get married to yourself again. Sit with yourself and be like, you know what? I'm going to start showing up for you more. I'm going to get to know you a little bit better. I'm going to spend some time with you. I'm going to give you some gifts. I'm going to show you some love. Just pay attention to how you're showing love to yourself. Because again, only you can do it. You're going to be with yourself for the rest of your life. Make that a wonderful relationship and you'll feel like you're in honeymoon phase forever.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So, audience, be happy. Audience, be full of joy. Audience, be full of love. Show love, be love, give love. Yes. Okay. Listen, Aaliyah, this was such a pleasure having you on my show.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun having this conversation. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I know you've given some great information. Remember, all you have to do, the hand to the heart, the
Yeah.
hand to the heart to open up your heart. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, listen, thank you, audience, for being here. And thank you, Aaliyah, for being here. And I am just looking forward to this conference that's coming up on March 12th, May 12th through the 14th. So be sure to go to the link, and I probably should put the link in the chat. Let me do that before we leave. Let me go to it and put the link in the chat. And that way, and also, okay, that's not right. Okay, let me, okay, okay. So before we leave, I'm putting the link in the chat so that you can go and register for Action Speaks Volume. And that conference is May 12th through the 14th. All right, so it's there. Click on it. And also get in touch with Alia. You can find her on Facebook. What are the other platforms that you're on?
I'm also on Instagram and I'm everywhere, also on LinkedIn. If you just do Alia the Love Coach, you'll find me.
Oh, okay. Let me put that in here. Alia the Love Coach. Find her. Find her. Find her. Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, thank you. And again, this has been such a pleasure. And so I want to say to our listening audience, thanks again for tuning in. And we will see you again next week.
Thank you,
So,
everybody.
thank you and bye bye. And if you could just hold on, don't leave, okay? All right.
The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk